I'm Bob Hiden, class of 1951. When I arrived, I was shuttled off to Sheldon House, where John Bell, who is also recorded today, held forth. One little episode in the dormitory life up here was in the second year, our junior year, we were all in Wells 1, and Bob McGlynn was the quartermaster. And in the fall, when John's parents would drive up from Darien, they would stop and bring a supply of food, ranging from cider to a variety of cheeses. And when John wasn't looking, we would put the cheese on his radiator, which ended up with a massive cheese sandwich on top of the radiator and odors which were just hard to imagine. But John managed to get through that, and we would take the cider that the Bells had brought up, and we would put some yeast in it and some sugar from the dining hall, which we'd borrow, and some raisins. Somebody would get some raisins. Probably a day student would bring them in. And we'd throw them into the cider and keep it in the near the heat for several days. And before long, the intent was, of course, to get hard cider. I remember in the Wells 1 version of the cider, there was an awful explosion one night in Bell's room towards the end of study hall, which was after dinner and in the evening in your room. And we all went running down the hall, and of course the gallon jug had exploded. There was putrid cider all over the place. I think John had to get his clothes replaced. Mr. McGlynn was as tolerant as you could expect anybody might possibly be under those circumstances, but that was life in the fast lane at Deerfield in those days.